One, two. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second Jaquel Culture House Hunters Foster the Sound Talent Search. Can we please get a round of applause? Now, I'm going to ask you guys to pace yourselves. It's going to be a long day, right? It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be an incredible day. I want to say a big shout out to the top 10. I want to say a big shout out to the top 50, big shout out to the top 100. This has been an incredible campaign. We're going to get right into it. But first, I just want to start with the house rules so that we know where to go, how to navigate in the space. And I'll give you guys the running order, and then we'll rock. We cool? And I'm going to need some energy. You guys cool? There we go. So from a house rules perspective, right, please make sure if you want to use the bathrooms, they are over there, and there's ones upstairs. But while we are in session, please, guys, make sure that you avoid going upstairs. The stairs are a little bit rocky, they're a bit loud, so because we are recording, we want to try and avoid too much sound. Are we cool? All right, so we're going to use the bathrooms over there, and then when you are making your way to the bathroom, please make sure that you avoid the cameras. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you need to go to the bathroom, you need to step out for a second, just be aware we are recording, so try and avoid the cameras. Nice? All right. And then from a Wi-Fi perspective, if you want to post online, which you please should do, right? Make sure, the Wi-Fi is amped guest, right, 2024, and the password is AMPD friends, all caps. Right, so that's Amped Guest 2024, and the password is Amped Friends, all caps. Good? All right, make sure you post it. When you are posting, we ask just these small little things. Make sure you use the relevant hashtags. You make sure, I'll pop in and out just to let you guys know if the hashtags have changed. But for now, please make sure you tag Hunters. Please make sure you tag Jaquel Culture House. Please make sure you tag Foster the Sound. Happy? All right, and then I think that's the house rules covered. I think that is basically that from my side. And then to go into it, right, I just want to tell you guys a bit what we've done, how we've come to today. I know I don't have much time, but I just want to let you guys know how we got to today. So number one, this, for those who don't know, right, this is AMP Studios. Can I see hands for first timers? Who's here for the first time? I know there's a couple of people that are not from Joburg even here, which is really dope. So AMP Studios is basically an empowering space, right? It's a cultural hub where you are able to get access to world-class facilities. The studio upstairs, the content creation, these are pod rooms over here. So if you want to start a podcast or any type of content, you are more than welcome to go on our website or come into the space, and you can book the space absolutely for free. Cool? All right, so we got that covered. And then when it comes to what we're actually doing here today, right? I'm going to give you guys just a brief history. I now don't have much time. I just want to give you guys a brief history about how we got here. So with the Jaquel Culture House and Hunters competition, what we did is we had thousands of submissions, right? We went through thousands of submissions. We narrowed that down to a top 100, which was incredible people, like incredible people, and then took that down to a top 50, which is some of the people that you are here with today, and then we narrowed it down to a top 10. I can tell you right now, right, yes, there is a top 10 that is performing, but everybody here is someone that you should know. This is a great opportunity to network. This is a great opportunity to know who is sitting next to you, because I guarantee you there's a possibility that there's a collaboration right next to you, right? So make sure that you are networking. Make sure that you're getting to know the people that are around you. Cool? Happiness. Now, we got the top 10. We're going to rock very soon. Before I bring the young lady who's the brand manager of Hunters, I just want to let you guys know. Can I get Tresor actually out? Can we get Tresor out as well? But I just want to let you guys know, from the Tresor perspective, I've got a chance to sit with a guy, go through the top 2,000, go through the top 100. I am telling you, right, we closed the competition maybe 2 days, if not 1 day, before we had to choose the top 10. That's how particular he was about this. That's how passionate he was about getting the right people in the room and also changing people's lives. So just to give you an example, right? This what we're doing, the talent search, one, I need to let you guys know that this is not a competition. right? We're not here looking for one winner. We are looking for mentorship. We're looking for people that we can empower. We're looking for people that are there but just need that little bit of a push. That's why they've got people like Shekhinah, they've got people like Musa who are able to get you guys from where you are to the next level, right? Happiness? All right. Now, without further ado, right, can I please, and can you guys, because without this lady, this is not happening. Can you guys please put your hands together for Nonsi?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. As he mentioned, I'm Nonsi Gumete, full name Nonsi Gelelo, but don't bite your tongues, it's fine. I represent the Hunters brand team, and we are so excited to host this yet again. It is our second time partnering with the Jaquel Culture House. They're very passionate about empowering young musicians, and as a brand team, that is our core purpose, is to give back to the community, give back to the musicians, give back to the hustle, if that makes sense. Make sure that you guys feel supported, you feel equipped to try again, to not give up, because that is our spirit. It's a never give up spirit. That brings me to why we call this Foster the Sound. We launched this new comms called Abba for Style, meaning those who persevere, because we understand that it takes quite a bit to make it in this industry. So we launched that this last year, end of last year, and we followed it through with this talent search, and we called it Foster the Sound, because we are saying persevere to get to your final sound, persevere to get to where you want to be as a musician. So please do enjoy, please do engage, please do use the opportunity to ask the questions that you want to ask. Don't be scared. If you feel like, this question is a little, ask it, Mtagabao. You might just, get the food that you need to keep going in your career. So please have fun. The mentors are here, they're prepared. They're so excited to be here with you guys, and we are excited to host you as well. Please do eat, be merry. If you post, please do post, #Hunters, Foster the Sound, #Jaquel Culture House. Please, have fun. That is me.
Thank you, Nonsi. And just to mention to you guys, so you guys are aware of what we're going to be doing today. So the morning session, right, we're going to start with the masterclass, right, which is what's going to happen now. And then after the masterclass, we're going to have a young 15-minute break. And then after that, we're going to go into the Q&A. So you guys are going to get to ask these guys the questions that you want to know. If you're struggling with anything, now is the time to get all the information that you need, right? And now, without further ado, we've introduced the Hunters part. Can we now please put together our hands for the Jaquel Culture House part, introducing the one and only Tresor.
Hello. How you guys doing? I think maybe let me stand up. Thank you so much for coming. It's really great to have you guys here. I know it's quite early today, and some of you really made time for us, so really appreciate it. I want to first thank our partners at Hunters for really coming through and being part of this really incredible platform. I want to give you guys a little bit of feedback on Jaquel Culture House. It's a project that I'm really extremely passionate about. It's about empowering the next generation of creatives. As an artist, I had a journey of my own from Congo to Durban and really got to experience a lot of hardships and not really understanding how to navigate the industry. And this project is about creating a platform that gets to empower, give you knowledge, share the journey, the struggles that we had, hopefully to be able to impact your journey in a positive manner and to be able to assist you in really discovering yourself as a creative, as well just to give you some really insight we never had when we're really coming up. It's really exciting. I know some of you here today are probably going to be, the next generation, really incredible creatives, and it's such an honor to be with you guys here today to be able to share the knowledge. Today, I have some really good friends that I'm really honored to have and introduce. Funny enough, I lived in Durban for a long time, and one of them is we came up or really as artists around the same time. So I have a really great pleasure and honor to introduce Shekhinah, if she can come, please.
Hello. Hi. Can I sit this side?
Yeah, you can. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is so cool. I did it last year? Last year? It's so good to be here with you guys. I'm so excited to chat.
As you all know, Shekhinah is an incredible, multi-award-winning, multi-platinum selling singer-songwriter. A very strong force and one of my favorite voices ever, you know. And it's such an honor to have her here today. The next artist, also really exciting with the crazy dance moves and really incredible voice. And I love the character that he puts around his music. I love his vision. I love the fact that he understands fully what he's really trying to build. And I'm really excited about everything that he's doing. He had such an incredible year this past year. Please put your hand together for Musa Keys. All right.
Thank you.
By the way, everybody, we are live streaming on all Hunters and Jaquel Culture House platforms. We want to tell everyone who's not here. Trade over to you, thank you.
Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming again. It's really exciting. I'm excited to have this chat with the dearest Shekhinah and my brother Musa Keys. It's really exciting that we all here. We get to be in one room together. We get to spend the day together. We get to share the knowledge that we have and get to share our experiences, hopefully to really assist you on your journey. And I'm also really excited to hearing some of our finalists today, to hear some of the new music, and it's going to be really exciting. Today, we're going to be tapping into a few areas just to get to really dive into the process as well as just the journey as a creative. And I do believe strongly one of the main thing, core centerpiece in an artist's career is really having the right music for yourself. There's not, you understand? So, and that brings us to our first topic, which is songwriting. I do believe really there can never be any great stars or music industry without the right songs or without what they say hit songs or songs that really get to break the artist. And songwriting is such an incredible tool, is such an incredible journey, is such an incredible thing for any artist that has managed to discover that for themselves. But I think going on that, I want to start first with Shekhinah, just asking her what does she define songwriting for her, and as well as what is a process, what is your process in terms of songwriting, and how do you define that songwriting for yourself?
So, first of all, it's really cool that everyone is here. I'm super inspired by you guys taking the time out to learn, because learning is going to save you everything in this career, is having these conversations. I think I'm also here to learn. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I still don't know, even though I feel like I've been doing this for a while. But I started writing songs because I have a very baritone voice, and I couldn't sing the Beyonce cover that all the other girls were singing. And I realized the only way for me to do what I love to do, or what I feel like I'm called to do, which is sing, and make it work for myself, is to sing my own songs. So I had to go through a journey of like always having to change the key if I was singing a cover, or if I did theater in high school, I had to try, they had to adjust everything so that it worked for me, because I sounded really good, but I didn't fit the style or whatever it was. So I started writing my own music as a way to just be able to sing and do what I enjoy. My process is very emotive, so it's very melody driven. I'm not the best with my words. I am good with words, but it takes me a long time to put them together. So I'm not the writer that quickly has the verse in the room. I'm the person that has the melody and has the word, maybe. So let's say it's, beach. Like, I have that. I know that I want to sing about the beach, and I know that there's a melody that I'm hearing when I'm listening to the music. So I would always put myself as a singer-songwriter, just because I approach songwriting from a singing perspective. And I know we were talking about Manana earlier on in the change room. Manana is such an amazing singer, but he's so quick with words, and he's so good with words. It's important for a person like me to have another writer in the room, because that helps me get the idea out faster, and also just explore maybe a thought that I wouldn't have had if I had to think about it for myself. So as I find myself working on a third album, I have worked closely with Una Rams. We've written at least 4 of the songs on my project together. Another song, I had at least 4 writers on the song. But the first 2 projects that I made, I wrote by myself. And it was so rewarding to know that I could do it, but it doesn't need to be that difficult. When you have people, you can write with people. So I work better in collaboration. Yeah. So find that person, yeah.
Amazing. I'll get Musa to add some of his gems about his process, and how do you define songwriting, or what's your creative process around songwriting?
Good morning, everybody. I hope you look delicious. Yeah, I actually agree with a lot of the things that you say. And I think one thing that could be happening to a lot of y'all right now is that y'all think having a writer is the worst thing. Because there's this whole idea in South Africa specifically that having a songwriter makes you the worst artist or whatsoever. Beyonce has writers. All of her hits are written by people, those kind of vibes. So I feel like sometimes having a writer is not also just saying, I'm not that great or I'm not good. It's actually sometimes getting a perspective of somebody. Like, I have this love situation where I got heartbroken and all of that. Maybe I'm a little bit too emotional to put it down in words right now. But I have somebody I can tell my problems to. Like, I'm actually going through this, and I would love to translate it to, like, music, And I think that's what I usually do whenever, if I don't have an idea of what I'm going to be talking about in the song or whatsoever, I'd rather just chill, until I get that whole energy in me. Like, what is it that I'm trying to feel? What is it that I'm trying to take out, I've went from, in the beginning stages, I've went from just doing random stuff and being super confident about it to being super critical about everything that you do now, because I kind of like understand the power of the words and the effect that the words have on people. Because at the end of the day, I'm not only trying to just tell you a story, I'm also you could also be going through the same thing that I'm going through, you know, and I could be a way of understanding. I never knew that I had anxiety until I listened to Anxiety by Zuchi. He explained it so much that I was like, that's me, bro. And I get you so much, you know? And I think that's what this whole writing thing also boils down to, you know. I'm down to like having the not even perfect, but a story that can be explained so good. Crazy thing, T and I were speaking earlier about the writing process. And I think also just having the freedom to just do whatever, you know, and then have somebody else come in and see if that would make sense, you know. Like sometimes you can write stuff and you could be selfish to yourself, like, I am dope, I'm that artist, I know what I'm doing, you know, but you find that the story is not so clear to the next person or to the audience, you know, and it's just unfortunate that there are ways of communicating, you know. If I wanted, I could just mumble throughout all of my songs and just give you all melodies, you know. But there are different ways. Yeah, and when I also make music, I start from melodies, you know. Since I produce my own music, by the time I'm already playing chords, I already have vibes in my mind. But what I usually do, I really avoid making the beat now and writing down right now. Like he said, there could be a word, so I'll record that idea. Like if I have a word like holy water, I made a song called Holy Water. I literally just woke up. I got back from the club late at night, early in the morning, found something, one of the producers that I called, making the beat. And I'm like, I like this beat. Just finish it off, do it like this and this and this. I'm just going to catch a nap. Same time when I woke up, we had a view, so there was water. And then somebody in the room asked me if I want some water. So in my thinking, I was just like, water, this water just sounds so nice, like at this moment. I don't know why, because I'm seeing a lot of water, the view has water and all of that. And I was just like, holy water, like, what is it that I can do? And then I just recorded like, holy water, and then just laced it, and then just played around in the program just to try and find the melody and all of that. And trust me, the whole song is just basically about water kind of vibe. So sometimes it stems from just like a word. Sometimes it's melodies. Sometimes I just let my mind go crazy. Like I just close my eyes, go on the mic, just record whatever is coming to my mind, because I feel like that's how I stay authentic to what I'm trying to achieve, you know. Yeah, and by all means, I try to stick to what I recorded as a draft. Because sometimes, yeah, the draft is the best, because sometimes we tend to overthink it too much. After the draft, you try to record it in different ways, and it just does not slap the same way. And trust me, that draft is the one that made you love that song, you know. So, yeah.
That's amazing. And that's amazing.
What about you? What about you? What about you?
I love the fact that you mentioned the collaborative process. I love the fact that Musa mentioned, you know, the vibes and the demo attachment style, where people are so attached to the first demos. Man, I am a big fan and really passionate about songwriting. I do believe it's like number one when it comes to like the music industry. It's like the best thing ever, you know, like on top of everything, you know. I love great songs. They can be fiction, can be a real story, it doesn't matter. It can be wordplay, it doesn't matter. I really love great songs. I have different process of writing, but a lot of, I think, my songwriting is always inspired in which part of life or the world or I'm in. I do believe as creatives, we are put in a position to always dare to push the envelope and not necessarily, I love discomfort, you know, I get very comfortable with discomfort, you know, being able to always challenge myself to be better, you know, at words, although like, you know, it's always a tough one because English is like my 7th language. And so I love unboxing, all those, boxes to put around as a creative. So if you make a certain type of music, for me, it's always like, I want to hear what's coming next, so I love, that journey of challenging. And melodies for me, again, when it comes to songwriting, personally, top, because melodies are just so incredible, like you can literally sing a whole song without understanding a single word, and I do believe at least some of my favorite songwriters are always very melody driven. And again, like I said earlier, it's a process that I do believe every creative, at least artist, doesn't matter what your style is, you should always strive to master, because that's really where everything starts from. Like with a great song, you literally have, it's like the explosion of everything you can imagine of. Like a great song can take you from wherever you are to like some of the craziest room in the world. Just a song. I always call it like a 2.5 minute of magic. So like when I write songs, I've always like, how do I bottle magic in 2.5 minutes? Like how do I, every single second need to be magical. If it's a keyboard, if it's melody, but how do you take all that magic and bottle in like 2.5 or 3 minutes? And when you put that way, it becomes suddenly easier, because you think like, oh, cool, I have 3 minutes to bottle magic. It does not matter if it take me a week, it take me a day, it take me a month. But if that 3 minutes really pops out magically, then it's different, because life becomes different, And that takes us to a next topic, which is publishing. Now you've written this really incredible song. And I also do believe, as artists, please don't box yourselves. Please, I beg you, don't box yourselves. There is so much that the people are like, you'll never know how people react until you actually put it out. Like there's so many artists. Actually, one of my friends shared a video of Childish Gambino yesterday. It just, for me, it's like the music and the art is always about that envelope, Take that boldness and take that step to push the envelope. Don't box yourself, because people, we want that the different you, Like every single time I feel like you're trying to diminish yourself or suppress yourself to sound like the next artist or a bigger artist, it really is such great waste of the greatness that is really hidden inside of you. So please, we want to hear the most original, the most authentic, the most bold, unboxed, crazy, loud, unapologetic you. And when you have a moment, you have that magic, bottle magic, and the song is out there, it takes her to the next phase, which I do believe is publishing. Man, I'm a great student publishing. It's such a complex topic.
I know nothing.
No, she knows she's lying. But just to put it simply, publishing really will protect your rights as a composer, as a songwriter. And I know right now, my first publishing deal was like in 2010. I got like 10 grand for it, and that was like the most money I've ever made in music at that time. I don't think you can understand how excited I was. Man, I was mad excited. Like, it was in Cape Town. I remember I just did like a bunch of shows on long streets. And man, I was just like, yo, I made it, man. Yeah, it was so crazy. Yeah, that was so crazy, And what that did to me was a stamp of approval, for my craft. I got to learn. I remember just bombarding them with like 150 songs, all demos I had on my phone, everything, So, and having a great publisher can do, I do believe, two things, if they're doing the job, of course. First, assisting you in really building a great community of other creatives, because normally like the majors, like your Sony Publishing, Universal, or Warner Chappell, they have a lot of writers, so you get to first build a community. Secondly, you get to learn along the way, because a great publisher will really get to assist you in really fine-tuning your craft. on top of that, really protecting your right. It's a complex business, and I do believe in life you always need to let the baker back to bread. So don't try to do everything on your own. Always trying to find the right people to work with. For a publisher to be interested in your work, again, I said you're going to go back. It's always start with the music. You get the right songs. Sometimes it takes, for people that have been around, sometimes it takes, some artists will come early and they have them like early like Lord, but you think it's early, but she spent like 4 years before, you know. Some artists will have the right people, like Shekhinah and Musa said, they have the right team around them, you know. I mean, we see it a lot on my piano. Like a lot of the time we know the songs, but not necessarily the artists. But they are really incredibly talented when they get to put things together. So the collaborative part, of course, is very, very important. But again, when it comes to publishing, man, always make sure you get your paperwork right. Get your paperwork right, and that being said, it's splits, because then you get to give your publisher, whoever is going to collect your royalties, the opportunity to be able to really capitalize on the opportunity of you having a really great song. I don't know if anything you're trying to add.
In regards to publishing, I think I would say, yeah, always don't just go for the first publisher or the first person that wants to publish you. I think just know your options. What options are there, to be fair?
Okay, that's actually a good question. I mean, there's a lot of ways of artists doing self-publishing. It's very tedious, really. If you got the time for it, very high likely you won't have time to make your best music. You know, I mean, I like to believe that, you know, I'm a student and I understand the ins and outs of business really, really well. But there are certain things that you just let the right people to do. We do have a lot of independent publishers, which are great locally. We do have a lot of major publishers. Depending where you are in your career, you can always do what you call sub-publishing deals or co-publishing deals, where it's a collaboration between you, your company, and them. I've done quite a lot of those. I go with majors because I love to be in London and meet the team there. I love to be in Paris and meet the team. I love to be in New York. So it's more of a network for me and access, really. You understand? So it just opened those doors that I can be in LA and be able to book a studio and not pay for it, and meet the right people and be like, hey, so-and-so is in town. Would you like to be in? So I'm like, yeah, sure. It does really. So here we have like 3 options.
And I have an independent publisher, and I don't have those same options. So it's a little bit more difficult. I still get to travel and use other studios and meet people and be in, but it's, I think there is a bonus with being able to have access.
Yes. I'll go back to where I started. Again, when you have the right song, you get to really play your cards because you have the power, right? They want your song. And please don't get emotional about business, ever. I'm being serious. Like I squeeze them out all the time. Like when it comes to business, you get to negotiate. You get the right people. We're going to speak about lawyers later, but you get the right people to help you negotiate the right deal. You don't get emotional or attached about business. I mean, you meet people, right? Right. But when you spoke earlier about the access, each part of life and business for me is like has a certain role to play. And it's a chess move. I don't make a decision unless I see a long play in it, ever. Okay. When it comes to publishing, I was with Universal for 10 years. I got out the deal. I had a transition period of like about 3 years, and I did like, I'm telling you confidential information, but I think it's important, but I did deals, project basis deals, and I waited for time I was gonna have the best deal of my life. So I waited until I got a big opportunity to really have great songs globally, and then I went to negotiate it. So what that did is like it put me in a position where I had these songs of massive artists and I owned them, and I needed to like find the right people. So I think in a way it's always about songs. So you wanna be in a position where you have a great song and shopping around in a really better position. And like she said earlier, I don't, depending what you're looking for, I love to have a network of people. I love to have access because I believe that opens a lot of doors and increase, of course, future earnings. Depending what you're really looking for, I'll always recommend going for people that can be able to look after you, not just here, all around the world. You can also get good deals with them. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on that, I think you are one person away from the person you want to be with or you want to work with. It's crazy that I'm also hearing your stories because you're with a publishing deal, but you feel like they're not covering certain things. You don't have so much access. You have access to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You're in I believe, a major publishing deal, which gives you more access to other things. I'm in a major publishing deal, but I'm still moving like an independent artist. Not because they're not doing anything, but because I'm so pedantic and so like, I know what I want. I know, like they do suggest so many things. Yo, we have a camp with Don Tolliver and this and that. Do you want to go there and whatsoever? However, I'm still like, the way I want to build my project, I'd rather do this and that and that. But that doesn't mean that I don't need it, right? And the reason I actually got into it was for the access as well. And I think this applies to everybody, man. Like even the biggest artists in the world can only reach a certain point. Your hand can stretch out to a certain point. You're gonna need somebody to take that wherever you can reach, and they will go further and publish it more for you. If anything, man, publishing for me, the reason I got into it was so that I could protect my money. There's so much money that your music is making that you're unaware of. There's so much money that's being made. Yeah. I saw yesterday an article, crazy thing about Spotify has paid 265 million, right? Yeah, in the past 3 years or something out. And that's just Spotify. So imagine how much more money is there from radio, from TV, from, if you've registered yourself with Samro and all of those companies. So I think for me to go into it was to protect my money, make sure that my money is protected, and to also just have the access to whatever I want. If I want to be in studio with Drake next week to beef with Kendrick, we can make it happen, I don't know how long it would take, but I know that the publishers would really go an extra mile. Also, there are so many ways to make your money. I personally believe that as an artist, you are going to have hot days, you're going to have dry days. And trust me, the publishing money really takes care of things when it will hold you down, like in times of need, where maybe you're not gigging enough, you're not having enough shows to pay for your bills. Go to your publisher. Your publisher probably has a lot of money from for you. They've collected so much money that you could have lost. And I mean, as much as the companies are really going to get your money, they're also crooks, man. Like, I mean, they might give you the money, but not all of it. So that publisher really needs to go there and dig deep and see where we're really making money and bring it back to you. And I think that's why I did it, just to protect and to be able to reach whatever I want to, like whatever place I want to reach. Also to get my music sometimes, which is so weird. I don't know if maybe this is what I think, but it's like, there's some entities you'd rather have a company represent you for them to be able to take whatever is offered, For instance, like let's say gig-wise, some shows you can't do big festivals. You can't do big festivals outside of South Africa, for instance. Like in Europe, I can't do a big festival if I'm not signed to an agency. They can't pay me directly. I need to be under an agency, booking agency or whatsoever. So that they can text the money and all of that. So I think also with the music as well, if you're trying to get your music played on FIFA, sometimes it's not just one person away. You don't call somebody, yo, I have a song, put it on. Let's make them money. Sometimes your publishers will go out and take this music. FIFA will probably submit a brief. We're looking for music that sounds like this, or we're trying to make music that sounds like this and that and that. Then they call you, they really do a lot. If you get the right publisher, they can really position you into a different place, some artists really live off publishing stuff, and not see the need to gig or whatsoever, because they make enough money from just that. So yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you. Like Musa said, as a writer, as a composer, I do recommend, like, you should firstly always focus on your craft until you're at the moment where don't sign a deal prematurely.
100%.
Just wait. You want to be able to really, sign something that is worth it. Again, we go back to the basic. The music. The music is where it's at. Like, there's no way around it. It's the music. And, when you have a publisher, you don't need, they'll sort out your SAMRO membership. They do all the collection. It's sorted, but they can only do that when you have the right song. Then that takes us back to, rather forward to next topic, which is, it's pretty easy topic, master ownership. And this is actually crazy that I'm gonna say this, but I'm not really emotionally attached to masters at all. I'll tell you why. Even songs, actually, as a songwriter, in the old time, I'm like, man, this is my legacy. It is still your legacy. And as a creative, we are very emotional people. But what you realize over time is that, man, every single time an artist like Nelson Makamo sells his painting,
It's gone.
it's gone, but it's still Nelson. It's put up in his house, in someone's house. The bias is Nelson. And that's how I look at music. Music is there to be shared, given. You'll see a trend of a lot of creatives that are really going to publishers actually selling their catalog, be it masters or publishers and neighboring rights. And it's crazy because 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you wouldn't say a young artist like Justin Bieber will make $300 million selling his catalog. That, for me, how you need to see, that's how far it can get. IP is a lot of wealth, like a lot of wealth. Every single time you have a great song, it could be worth millions of, like, intellectual property. Like, your ideas are wealth. So please, when creating them, put a lot of attention, a lot of care, and a lot of laugh into them, because that could be really life-changing, maybe for you and generations to come under you. That's really how I look at intellectual property. And going back into masters, like I said earlier, man, it's art, and I look at masters as marketing tool. When you have a great song, most of your income streams will come from the things we're going to talk about. Music sales are great, but I can tell you most of the biggest artists, be it Beyonce and Rihanna and Ed Sheeran, they've been on like 10, 12% royalty most of their career. And they are doing incredibly fine, right? Depending which deal you want. So on a personal level, I've pretty much owned most of my masters, but I'm also not necessarily attached to them. I love the fact that I created the ideas. But if someone came with the right price for them, they'll get them. Because I still have my mind. I can still create more. You understand? So masters, really, for me, it's simple. It's literally the physical embodiment of your ideas. It goes to radio, it's up on streaming platforms. We're going to speak about contracts later. But for me, I look at it as a marketing tool. When you have a great song, everyone speaks about you, like this young lady that is doing well, Tyler. Water, everyone's speaking about the song. But actually, what's coming out of the song is what actually, everything around the music. So the song is a marketing tool. The masters is great, it's incredible. And again, we're gonna go back to contracts, but then brings us to like contract and recording agreements. There are really some really bad ones, some messed up ones, where sometimes artists get locked in for like 15 years, but basically a recording contract is an exclusive agreement with whatever party, could be a record label, could be whatever, that gives, you agree on a number of recordings. Sometimes it's albums, sometimes it's singles, sometimes it's EPs. And nowadays, I think people should do what really suits them in the journey. Some artists want to do things independent because they want to be more of a niche. And it's this, again, for me, it's the same as we said earlier, just focus on your music before you sign, because you also don't, you don't want to sign a contract too early. You want to sign it to the right time, the right contracts, with the right people that will be able to like push you enough for you to make your living and earning from everything else around the music. They get to get a percentage on the masters, but you get to get endorsement deals, brand deals, live shows, tours, movie, acting, whatever. Like, you get to do everything that you want from the music, So when it comes to recording contracts, I would say at the beginning of your career, try not to do anything crazy. It's a rule I do one project deals, but only because of the journey, of course, I've had. It's a saying, and I've always switched between companies depending who's gonna give me what at what time. First album I did with Sony, second album I did with Universal. I said for the third, then the fourth I left. So it's, so again, do things that will serve your journey, and you can only be able to create all that when you have the right music and you're in a position to be able to negotiate better terms. So again, we go back to the first thing, it's just music, man. Really, like, music is really what's gonna set you up. I'm gonna let Shekhinah dive into a little bit into recording agreements and what's the experience and what advice she has for them.
Masters are so interesting. Like I said, I'm learning, so I might forget you guys and be zoned in. I think it's interesting that you find that you're not attached to the masters. I needed to hear that because I'm very attached to my masters. And I love how you say that you still have your mind, so the masters can go, and that's true. Your thoughts and your ideas are gold. They are worth more than any number you can put to them. And I think you saying you always have your mind is like, I don't know if it's the feminine energy in me is like, yeah, but I might not always be here, and my masters are just something I want to leave behind for my future children. My masters are something that I want to always stay with me and my family, but that's just different ways of working, and I think that goes into the emotional, don't be emotional with business. I'm very emotional when it comes to business. And I think that's why I have people around me that can balance that out. But when it comes to contracts, I really love what Tresor is saying. I think if you can also do the same thing, if you can do one album deals and go where, because the thing about labels is their teams are always changing. You stay the same. So you go to a label, you like so-and-so because so-and-so works so hard, but then Universal takes him. So now you're stuck with somebody that you don't connect with, doesn't connect with your music. It's just a job for them. So I think that what Tresor is saying is gold. And I think it's our industry, remember that. We set the rules. We don't have a union, there's no rules. So it's our world. And if you want to give them one album and they say hasn't been done, it's been done. It can happen. And I think I've been in situations where I've just accepted what people have told me as God's truth. And that's not the way. So I just want to close off by saying, if you can do one album deals, that's perfect. You change, your music changes. Next thing you're doing piano, being signed to a certain label might not work for you if you're doing this genre. Be able to go where the music is being served the most, I think. Yeah.
Just to add again, thank you so much. To add what you're saying earlier, when we work with labels or releasing music, we work with people, right? I'm a firm believer also on top, when it comes to business, man, before money on crazy advance, I look at human capital. I look at the people, like the people around. Like, I don't care how much money is on the table. So many times I've been in rooms where I've been offered more money and the people are not right. So I was like, this does not sit well with me because anyway, it's my money, I'm gonna pay for it. So I'll go for way less money with the right people. Always. It's a golden rule. Way less money in the right people, because in the long run, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, please write that down.
A lot of people that I've still worked with today, I've known for like 12 years, because nothing is impossible when you have the right people, man. Really, like, and people think like for you to reach a pinnacle in your career, you need like the weekends manager. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need the people that are really passionate about your craft and you as your person and your vision. And sometimes they're around us. I'm saying sometimes. It's not always, but sometimes they're around us, you know. I mean, you guys have seen how Shekhinah has done really incredibly well, and her sister is involved.
Yeah, it's
sister's
me and
here.
my
Her
sister.
sister is manages
She's
her, you know.
somewhere, but
Yeah.
I can tell you now, I put my sister above any other professional person that I've worked with. She's pulling her tongue right now. She's so childish. But it's like Tresor was saying, and I also think about that with Tyler. I think about that with the team that is working with Tyler. I think Tyler, if you know about her come up, it's been people that have seen that she had what she had at 16, 17. And it's not, she didn't need to go to America to do what she needed to do. She needed people to continuously believe in her talent and what she's doing and mold that and be there by her side. So I love what you're saying, because that's how I picked my team. That's how I signed my contract, was purely based off of the people. Did they get me? Did they get me when sometimes I take too long to finish a project? They understand my process. They help me. They know when to apply the pressure, when not to, and they care about me. But as things change, it gets a bit weird. So I don't know what my point was. Don't give me the mic again.
Basically, we're talking earlier about her sister.
Oh, my sister. Oh, yeah. She's great. She's great.
But like she said earlier, man, like there are so many companies that are playing the roles of majors without having to, for you as an artist to have a commitment.
And Musa's an example.
Yeah, you understand? Like we're gonna go into Musa, and Musa is managed by a really great friend of mine, Tiamo, which I've known for a long time. And they've done, I tell them all the time, they've done so incredibly well in how they built the career and the structure around them. And it's like really strong team. So please go ahead, brother, on your recording, release, and masters.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate.
Period.
Just to be quite honest, if a label is offering you little money, they're not gonna do shit for you. They won't. Trust me, they're gonna sell you the best dream, and I stand to be corrected. Maybe there's people who's been offered small money and then they had the greatest outcome. Everybody I've seen who got little money, there's nothing happening, bro. If a company is willing to give you 20 million, trust me, they're going to work. That's 20 million. I can't just wake up and say I'm giving Tresor 20 million and hopefully his album will bring back the 20 million.
Yeah.
No. At the end of the day, we're trying to get back our 20 million. We're trying to make sure that we even make more than 20 million, you know? And I think that's one thing I've battled with. Like every time labels have been chasing me for years, and I just keep on declining it. Because before we even get to figures, because I haven't seen anything that they've done for people that I couldn't do myself, you know. That's why I said earlier, we have a publishing deal, but I still feel more independent. But also because I'm that kind of artist. As you said, I really needed to hear the two. You're being emotionally attached to masters, you know, because I've had a fair share of my own money from my music. I've known how much it is to get 80% of your master. It feels so good. It's so much money compared to when you're going to be getting a 12%, you know. And I think I've been able to live. Some people might think that I have a record label that made me so much money and I can afford that because no. It's always been independent and whatsoever. Even if the label gives you the money, I've taken the money and put it back into my own stuff on my own. But more than anything, man, I feel like when it comes to deals and all of that, trust me, I don't know what the numbers are, but I can tell you right now, Tyler probably has a very good deal, like a proper good money deal for it to sustain and to go that way. Because it's not easy, man. Like, as much as I would love to be independent, it's not easy to take out 400,000 rands for a music video. That means what? I have to go to do 20 gigs and then come, like after all the 20 gigs, pay 400 for something that's gonna take a day that I'm not even sure if it's gonna make me money back, you know? So I think that's where it goes in. For me, I haven't signed a deal yet, only because I am attached to my master, right? Super attached. Because I personally believe I make classics, you know? And I think my music is gonna take care of me for the rest of my life. However, I am in a transition right now of giving into a lot of things. I never had a stylist, ever in my life. But recently I was like, you know what, maybe for character change, I'm working on a new character for my new project. Let me get somebody to help me. And maybe how I'm seeing it, people will still see it the same way, even if I try to tweak it. So like, rather get somebody who sees it completely different, you know? And I think, which is where I'm at a point, even if I do take a deal, Tiamo and I have been speaking about, we taking a project deal kind of thing, you know? I don't want to feel like I'm held down, you know? I really want to feel free in my music, because I'm sure even with a project deal, I doubt they would even put pressure on you, you know, unless if you're taking a year after they've given you millions of rands, you're taking a year to deliver the project. But I mean, in most instances, for me, right now, I am willing to go into it. However, I won't lie, man, it just feels so uncomfortable. Coming from a very independent background, it feels so,
Yeah, it's unnatural.
like, it's not natural. It does not feel right, because still, even when I wake up being signed, my mind will automatically tell me that niggas better be running around right now. Because now, I think the only reason I would also want to sign is because I want to now exercise myself as an artist. Being independent makes you do so many things alone.
Yeah.
For you to shoot, you come up with the concepts and all of that. For whatever you do, you need to be hands-on. And I like what you said earlier about having lawyers and stuff, you know. Sometimes it's okay to just learn about that thing and know, just so that you don't get ripped.
Yeah.
But being a part of it, imagine now you want to sit down on the computer and check how many times your song played on Metro FM. When there's somebody who does that for a living, they know how to, they probably even have a much more simpler system to check, you know. And that on itself, which is something I'm still struggling with right now, there's so many things that I'm trying to exercise on. I don't have a big enough team. We don't have a big enough team to be like, yeah, we have those people doing that and then those doing that. So sometimes we have to actively go do certain things. I've been sent songs to complete. I've taken months to complete because I'm always on the road. On top of being on the road, I'm also working on my own strategy for the next project. On top of that, I'm working on the music itself. On top of that, I'm working on the image for the music. On top of that, I'm working on, I'm trying to think of what deals would make sense for my project. What deal, you know, like trying to make sure that everything creatively connects, you know. Because sometimes you can be in these deals. The reason I'm also just so head on to it is because sometimes people, they can put you in deals and because they're making money and all of that, but you find that it's not connecting to you as an artist. You know, I've done so many deals, campaigns and all of that, but I was struggling to deliver. You know, I would give them the best content. For them, it's the best. Like, yo, best artist to work with and whatever. The only problem is that it took me so much time because I did not connect with the brands, you know. And it goes back to what they were saying. Having a team that really understands you, how you position yourself, and all of that, because it really goes a long way. You find that you're more immune to chippies instead of hunters. No shade, hunters.
We love you.
We love you so much. But it would be so, it needs to feel natural. If anything, whatever I do as an artist, I want to feel natural. I don't want to feel like I'm going way too out of the thing. Like if I'm promoting a shoe, I don't want to, if it's not a shoe that I would wear on a normal day, I'm not doing it. You know, I need to feel super connected with it. And that's what I think it comes in with having the right people around you that really know that this guy doesn't like drip batus. You know, he'd rather get that and so and so. So let's rather put him in a position that's gonna do that. Because at the end of the day, you're not trying to be an artist that's also suffering in the things that you have to do, because they are bringing you money. You know, if anything, I want to do things that, as much as it could be bringing me money, it needs to be something I can live in and enjoy doing. You know, I don't want to be depressed, man. Like, they sending you 500,000 every month, but you're so mad every time you have to shoot content. I've had a situation where I had to shoot content, so much content, and I got annoyed to a point where I started delivering late and all that because I got annoyed. I'm like, this is not what it feels so young for me. You know, I'm doing too much activity, and my brand, I don't need it to do that much activity, you know. But yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Really appreciate sharing the experience. I think to close on that topic, like I said earlier, you know, you can't have emotions around business, and I learned the hard way, you know. I do believe we are so blessed in our current times that we have so many options. Locally, you have your Africa, you have Platoon, you have Empire, you have a lot of distributors, you have really so many options if you're not really going independent. But most of my deals, my career has always been licensing deals, where I produce the music, license the albums, and they've done what I believe wonders. So there's a lot of options. I'm not close to signing a direct deal if it's gonna make sense. But so far, none of them have made sense yet. But I'm not close to it. If ever it does come to a place where I need to offload the masters, it's gotta make sense. Because I look at it, you know, it's an investment, it's IP, and I look at it as what will grow more in value. Justin Bieber earlier, at his age is like, I don't know, 28. You know, if you sell your catalog for 300, very high likely by 35 you can make ridiculous amount of money if you make the right choices.
Can I, just to be the devil's advocate again, I don't think it will ever make sense. It's business. It's not gonna make sense because either way, in business, somebody gotta get ripped, unfortunately. You have to be, like, unfortunately.
Sometimes, but you gotta have the right lawyers.
You can have the right lawyers to help you get a better deal.
Correct.
Not the best. I mean, hey man, I received also contracts like yesterday, literally, right? And I looked at them, I'm just like, this does not make sense, no, in any way. But in business, like if we're looking at it in a business way, it really makes sense for them, you know?
For sure.
Hence, they really thought it was brave to say you are gonna get so much from whatever you're making. You know?
You must also understand, I think naturally, like I'm talking about music business, the numbers need to make sense for everybody. Yeah. It's just how life is. That's how it is. If everyone walks happy on the table, walks out happy. In fact, everyone should walk out unhappy. That's the best deal.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's the best deal. Everyone is squeezed down.
Yeah.
No one is getting the bag. Everyone is squeezed out.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know, so
I like that.
there's a lot of companies you need to check out. You can check Shamrock, you can check Hypnosis. These, you know what's exciting for me? They live in the future. You take IP, you take masters, and they get to be treated as commodity, like shares. That for me is exciting. Because that means if today you have a song on Billboard, someone can go and measure the royalties that it will earn for the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even 15, based on certain metrics, and be like, this song will make roughly $8 million over the next 10 years. Therefore, there is enough risk, so they take certain percentages of risk. We can be able to pay $5 million for it. Now, remember, I know we have 10 million left, so we're going to get into other topics really quickly. But remember, there's a lot of risk. Artists are very reckless most of the time. your catalog might not necessarily survive those 10 years. Right? So that's a risk factor. So for me, I know in 10 years' time, if I work with a certain amount of money today that get given to build, a very high likely I'll overperform the royalties I'll get. Do you understand? Yeah. And at the end of the day, that song will still be my song. I'll still perform it.
100%.
You'll still see my credit because I wrote and produced it.
Until they say you can't.
But you those are part of clauses, you know. It's quite a long thing. Those
Contract.
are you. That's why I say, like, man, I can tell you. Last year,
I'm thinking about selling now.
No. Hold on. I'm not. By the way, I'm not advocating for selling. I'm just telling you the opportunities that and the rooms I've been in and the things I've experienced. Man, I come from.
Justin Bieber is a great example.
I come from I come from the street. So being in certain rooms and understanding things, it just opened my eyes to a lot of things. And this we can talk about later, but please look at yourself as a business. You're creative first. But secondly, look at yourself as a business. Always. Because you create assets that are really very valuable. And that's going to take us to the next topics, which is we don't have that much time, but it's really easy. The music that you create, one of the biggest cash cow or avenue that brings a lot of money is always live shows, endorsements. And for you to get there, you've had the music is, let's say, assume you've been signed. You're going to need to have the right marketing team, the right PR team. And it's very important, guys, to have an identity as an artist. I'm not just talking about sound identity. As an artist, you need to be somewhat an identity. You feel me? You get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. You know, you gotta have an identity, man. You gotta be the fresh you, the coolest you. Like, you know, and it's a growth journey, you know. Like, when you can afford it, you're gonna have stylists, whatever. But in my early days, man, I was just putting on my fedora hats, whatever. I'm like, this is the cool things I have, you know what I mean? So, and that's what goes around PR and aligning, you know. Funny enough, my earliest ever brand partnership I did with Ray-Ban and Lastafalact, and that's before I even released my first single. I just wrote them a long ass email. I'm like, hey man, this is what I do. I think it's pretty cool. You guys should be part of my journey, though it based out of Cape Town. Got started in 2013 until it just ended like maybe last year. And it happened because I just started building this really incredible thing around and aligning with brands and things is part of an artist's career, which is really, really important. And this project, incredible project, Culture House, and in partnership with Hunters, is a testament to that. It's really about aligning vision. You gotta always find people that align with your vision. I know we have 5 minutes left. It's been really great to have you guys here, and we appreciate the time. And from my side, the main thing I really want to leave with you guys is, man, once you have the music, where you're really going to build at least your wealth is going to be from everything but the music, everything else. Live shows, endorsement, whatever. So, but it always starts with the music. I mean, you guys understand what live shows is. But when you do your live shows, man, again, identity, make it special, make it magical. I don't know if there's anything you want to add before we close in terms
I
of
think
live shows.
Musa should add it because I feel like he's in his bag when it comes to live shows right now.
Yeah, I think marketing, branding is like, after your music is done, that's number one. Because that's what's gonna sell the music. You know, sometimes people don't like your music because it sounds good. They like your music because you look good. You look like you give them some sense of,
Self.
yeah, like
Mirror, yeah.
they can draw inspiration and all of that, you know. And I think there's a lot of things people kind of like miss. Some people think they can just be a Kendrick Lamar. Just don't drop anything until you want to drop. You know, sometimes you need consistency. Sometimes you need to be, everything needs to feel like propaganda, you know. Unfortunately, that's the music business. If I come here and just tell you something basic, you might not be interested. But if I make it sound juicy and make it like, brand it up to be this big thing, you know, it then caters to the public. And if anything, my way of marketing my music also is performing it. You know, whenever I perform, I always make sure that it's a different feeling. I always want people to fall in love with my music again every time I perform. I need you to feel like it's a new song. If it means my band and I are gonna do something new at every new show, that means we're doing that just for the purpose of making people feel like. I was actually telling my manager yesterday, we're like, crazy thing, I'm still performing a catalog from 2 years ago and it still feels super fresh. He's like, no, it's because you go to different places all the time. I'm like, no, it's not only that, but also because of how I then present my music to people.
100%.
My live music is not the same as the one you hear on Apple Music. I do a different rendition. It's always different. It's just an enjoyable thing, you know, to watch. Personally, I before I even work with some artists, I sometimes check their performances. How are they? I sometimes get your energy, pick up your energy from the way you perform. Like I can feel that this person is a superstar. This person has the energy in them. This person has that thing in them to make a song sound so good, you know. And which goes back to, there are artists that are recording artists. There are artists that are just singing artists. There are artists that are performing artists. Finding the balance, hey? For me, it was that thing. I had to find the balance. And more than anything, when branding myself up, you can't want people to like you if you're not well presentable, you know. Yeah, like come present. Look at how dripped up he is, you know. For sure, before he even said anything, some of you were like, "Yo, that outfit is dope." You know, already you were interested in what he was gonna say without him even saying hi. So how you present yourself is really important. Doing them shows is way much important as well. Also touching the little Western mediums, man, like your radios. Sometimes we think TikTok is the only thing now. If you want to blow your song, do a TikTok challenge. But one thing I've learned is that, especially also back here, if my music did not play on radio, I wouldn't have passed something we used to call like the dust test, where we go to like a place that's very far, that has minimal internet. People there most likely don't have data and perform there. If those people are not singing your music, you haven't branded and marketed it enough, you know, because if the people in the rurals, people deep down who don't have access every day really know your song word for word, that means that song really is on rotation. And yeah.
That's amazing. With that, guys, we're going to be closing the first part, the masterclass. Thank you so much to Musa Keys for your insight and imparting your knowledge and sharing your journey, to Shekhinah. Thank you again a lot for being here. And thank you so much for listening to us. And we hope you've really enjoyed and picked some really gems for yourself. Remember, everything we said is personal journeys. We're just sharing. We're probably going to have some chat that if you really want to ask some questions, you're welcome. Again, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll see you guys back right here in a bit. Thank you.
There we go. So guys, what we're gonna do is now we're gonna jump into a break, right? Just a young 15-minute break. You guys are able to grab some drinks. You guys get to prep your questions. If you need to use the bathroom, you can use the bathroom. If you guys need to smoke, nyana, you guys can smoke. But please, 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 guys, we be back here in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, we're closing the doors and we're jumping straight into the Q&As. Right, thank you, guys. Sharp.
Slim. Slim.
It's fine now.
Also, be clear about who you're asking the questions of. And then when you're ready, we can go. And then let's give a round of applause.
Oh, hi. I'm so excited. I feel like a child in a candy store. I'm just like, first of all, thank you to AMPD for this. Thank you guys for coming through. What makes you guys so special is that you guys all have distinct sound. No one sounds like you, no one sounds like you, no one sounds like you, which is such an inspiration for us because, you know, in this day and age, there's a lot of do the same thing, do the same thing, do the same thing. Now with me, my name is Nyeleti the Star, the Chocolate Queen, Chocolate oozing ooh. And just before I get to my question, I host an event. It's called Heartbeats. It's centered around mental wellness in the entertainment industry. And I came up with it through sessions like this, where we talk about publishing, we talk about this and that, but we hardly talk about what we're going through mentally, because we've seen so many people die, succumb to this, succumb to that, because of, you know, the industry and its struggles. So I sing and I rap, right? And I've been told a few times I need to undress or I'm a shake what my mother gave me and this and that and this and that. Now, because you guys have such different sounds, how did you each know that this is the sound that I'm going with and this is the sound that works for me personally?
You go.
Anybody can answer.
Sonic identity. I love that topic so much. Because that's gold. And I think every artist, it's really encompasses everything about the artist, you know. Personally for me, I wanted to incorporate elements of my journey. I grew up in Congo. I traveled the whole continent. I've lived in South Africa for the longest time. I've been fortunate enough to travel the world. So I collect all those experiences in sounds and stories like collectibles and box them to make the music. So that's why you get to hear experiences of Africa and South America, sometimes really pop top lines. I just really, personally, I just box my experiences in sounds and songs. And I feel as a continent, we have such a diverse landscape of sounds, you know, from West, Central, and Southern Africa. Man, by the way, shout out South Africa, man. For me personally, it's the best musical country on the planet right now. Like the most authentic, the most original, the coolest, like ever. I'm not being biased because I live here. It just amazes me every single day. And as an artist, for me personally, like I said, I box sounds from my journey, but also I feel like as an artist, you always strive to bring something fresh. Please be bold. Don't ever, ever, ever not be bold and think out of the box. And, you know, from experimenting and fusing sound always comes something really, really beautiful. And again, I said, just be comfortable feeling uncomfortable when experimenting. You know, it's okay. It really is fine. Like, we wouldn't have some of the most incredible artists and sounds today, or even the log drum, without experimenting.
I think for me, I started from like religiously binge watching Abza the Smalls vibes. Like before I kind of like blew, it was like before COVID. So Scorpion Kings it was either Scorpion Kings or nothing, you know, kind of vibe. Before every other like artist emerged. So my everyday go-to thing was like whenever he would drop something or if I would hear something or go live, I would want to watch it. But for me, it was to hear where the sound was going, because I could hear that Amapiano was just really consistently growing. It never sounds the same. Drums keep on getting better and better. Musicality keeps on getting better and better. So I used to binge watch until I got to a point where I was like, when I made the music, I was never satisfied because I felt like it does not sound as good as Gabza's music, you know? Until I got to a point where I was chilling. I'm like, actually, let me really stop trying to listen to other people and finding myself in that kind of sound or whatsoever. Let me do something that makes me feel comfortable and happy. And that's when I started like just doing everything differently, you know, from the way I was like, there are so many packs that everybody's using. Let me sit down, let me get a tin. If I'm trying to get like a spoon kind of sound, let me sit down and make it myself and try to see if it's gonna be good enough. Or sometimes I'd even delete everything in my computer that I got from people and try to like get new things from different vibes to try and distinct myself from everything else. The journey of finding yourself is a long journey. I won't lie, because you don't just wake up and be like, I'm this guy who sounds like this and whatever, you know. I've experimented quite a lot. I have so many songs that are just chilling, where even now when I listen to them, I cringe, you know. I'm like, damn, was I really that person? And for me to get my sonic was literally comfort. What made me feel comfortable? What felt so easy for me to do, you know, not thinking that sometimes we really do mess it up by thinking how many other people are gonna like it, you know, instead of like, is it something that really, I mean, some people, good enough, God has blessed me with the ear to hear proper music, you know, and I believe that my ear is pretty good. Like, I can hear a song now and I'll tell you that's gonna be a hit kind of vibe, you know. I don't know how that happened. It just happened. So I think that also played a role in me having the trust in my sound as well. You know, like relearning myself. If anything, I always try to challenge myself with every project. This new project, I'm a full-on vocalist, like in all of the songs. Like in other songs, I was comfortable being just a producer and just not doing anything. In my previous songs, I would literally chill in the studio, tell them, no, let's sing something like this. Let's talk about this. They'd sing, no, don't sing it like this, sing it like that. I'll direct everything. Like, whatever I would do, I would probably just tell them to do it. All I just needed was their voice. But it got to a point where I was like, I think I found what I sound like. I found there are certain things that you say whenever you sing, or maybe how you introduce yourself in a song. That's your identity. Like, I don't know, whatever you say, you know. That's where you start learning that, oh, damn, this is something I love. And crazy enough, you're going to start hearing the same thing over and over in most of your songs. And I feel like that's where you start realizing that you found yourself in some sound. So, yeah. But more than anything, I don't think I have a specific sound because I'm constantly changing myself. Every project, I always want to sound different.
But that's evolution.
Yeah, that's evolution.
Sonic evolution.
That's evolution.
Yeah, it is. And crazy thing, all of us are working on projects and all of us have new music that's not normal to us, you know. And I think that's the whole point for me, where I don't, after I found myself, I'm comfortable. Finding myself, how did I know that I found my sound? It was when I was comfortable with whatever I did. So before, I would be so uncomfortable because I'd feel like it's not good enough. It does not sound as good as this person, does not sound as that and that, until I got to a place where I'm like, this actually sounds better than all of their music kind of vibe. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think mine is very similar. I love what both of them have said. For me, it's what I grew up listening to. We were many different types of people in our household. Some people were listening to Kwaito, some people were listening to Britney Spears, some people were listening to Tamia. So I like to put in what I love, and that's a eclectic genre, like eclectic taste. So I like to be pop lyrically, like Tresor said, pop top line. I like to have a soulful sound, so more of a soulful tone. And then I also like to have an R&B rhythm. So I like to just do that because that's how I grew up, in a household where we all listen to different types of things. And then I wanted to agree with what Musa was saying, but I can't remember.
Thank you guys so much.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you have to also be honest with yourself, like she's always honest.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, like in music, you know, we tend to not be so honest with ourselves just so that we can try and get it right, you know. Sometimes you can write a song and you feel like that hook does not sound like it should be you,
Yeah.
you know. that doesn't mean you're not so great. Maybe your the way you sound sonically is just not so great to be that, but you can get somebody to do it again. But yeah, being true to yourself.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone. I go by the name of The Future. I'm a producer, artist, live sound engineer. So also, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's great to hear from you guys. So I just have like two quick questions. One, how did you get to a point of allowing other writers in? On a personal level and also business level, because I think in SA it's constantly being drilled into us that SA is small, SA doesn't have money, so people are very afraid. The moment you start thinking about introducing other people in, then they're like, but you're not gonna make money, but you're dropping your 100%, but you're dropping your 50%. And that really like takes down the standard of music, because there's amazing people who shouldn't be artists, but are amazing writers. There are people who have amazing voices, and I think that really, but so how did you guys on a personal and business level like get to the point of allowing other people in?
Okay. That's a beautiful question.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna go at it. As a creative, writing and making music is very sacred to me. I don't even think about money. I think of the level of understanding, creativity, creative connection. I could write, but not with many people. I think in my whole entire career, like at least for my own stuff, I've co-written with like maybe 5 people. And a lot of the time it's people that really, man, I admire that person. There's something special. So my advice to anyone that when it comes to collaboration, man, it's gotta be great. Like for me, at least personally, like I open that world to anyone that I believe will be able to bring something really phenomenal and add to it or even make it better. It's a really wrong view if you're really gonna go into creative room thinking of money. Please delete that thing off your mind, ever. Like don't go in a room, create music for money. It will never make any money anyway. I'm just being honest. You know, because it's not authentic. And the crazy part about music is like, it's crazy in a way that people can feel it when it's authentic. And people can feel it when it's not. You understand? Some of the best songs are just happen by accident because you don't think much about them. You feel me? So for me personally, I've never had a struggle with collaboration. It's always been about the right people. Like I said, to add on it, please don't think of money when creating. Money comes. It's a collateral thing. It will come. And you'll spend it, and it will go, and you'll come again. But please create dope work by having the right people around you. Just, you know, the right creatives.
Yeah. On that, also like you see, I've seen it on the internet before, where they're like, no, when you get into the studio and then pull out the papers and the agreements. No, it does not work, honestly, because music is not just us and putting logic together. We are feeling each other. It's energy, it's spirits, it's everything else but papers. We're not trying to see, when a musician comes to your house, they're not trying to see papers. They're not trying to be serious. We're there to try to express how we're feeling. So sort out that paper stuff after the song is done, before dropping the song and all of that. Never be in a position, if anything, whenever I call artists to my place, I never put them in a place where they feel like they're at work. You know, you'll get in, if you want alcohol, I'll give you alcohol. If you want whatever makes you feel so comfortable. We once had a camp this other time, and we were kind of like fasting. But it was defeating the purpose because I was hungry and thinking about food all the time, you know? You trying to be in the space of creative, like you want your creative juices up. If food makes me bubbly, then I have to eat, you know? But then now coming back to the writers thing, I think also it's also an uncomfortable barrier that you need to get over as an artist, because sometimes you might feel demotivated, you might feel less of yourself, because you might feel like maybe I'm not good enough to take out the product. That's why I need help. You know, like there's so many things that come with, especially if you're very strong, you have a strong character as an artist, you know, like you're so confident. When it comes to things like that, where people have to really help you, especially in your creative stuff, it really gets out of hand. So how I do it, if I do call a writer, if I think I'm gonna feel uncomfortable with them giving me the idea, then I'll record melodies and call them and say, let's turn these melodies into words, so that in some type of way I can feel like I'm still original to who I am. It's not somebody just coming here and giving me an idea and I'm just lacing it, you know? And I never think, like he said, I don't remember ever like thinking about money whenever calling, right? Or like those are things that we sort out later, man. Like we get in the studio and make the best music, you know? Because now we already talking money, I'm paying you, the song is not what I wanted. Or what if the combination was just not the best? I don't like it. I don't like you anymore.
But I'm there. I had to let writers in because there was a demand for music, and also this is also the first project that I've ever like sat with. Okay, last project I had 2 writers. Manana wrote on questions, and I Love It Here. But it got to the point where I was creatively stifled. So I needed to be around people that could help me get out of my box. And that is worth more than me making sure I serve my audience, is worth more than me having all the royalties. So that's why I decided, Shek, write with other people. It'll be fine. This music is not to serve a financial purpose. It's to serve the people that need the music. Yeah.
Just to close on that point quickly, with great moments in your career comes a massive demand of innovation. Man, if you've had a crazy moment with your first album, yo, the pressure get worse and worse. Yeah. For yourself as an artist, so you need to be more creative. Why would you want all that pressure on yourself?
Yeah, share it.
Like, why don't you just get to really work with really incredible people when you have access, you know? And, you know, to make you even more comfortable, there are very, very, very few people, most of your favorite artists, if not 99%, barely write 5% of their songs. 5%. And you know what? They're still so dope, man. And you guys adore them and you love them. And that's what art is about. As an artist, you can be a vessel of people's creativity, or you can be a vessel of your own. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, the fans win. And that's really what matters. It's never just about the artist. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Sorry guys, just a quick announcement. Please make sure that your phones are on silent. We're hearing phones go out, so please make sure your phones are on silent.
So my question to all of you, obviously with social media becoming so increasingly popular, a lot of artists are encouraged to have a huge presence on social media. How do you guys incorporate that into the artistic style that you each have? I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah.
Yo.
Why does he do that?
Yo, that's actually a cool question, because, you know, that's when, for me, I fight back. You know, when there were Prince and MJ and Stevie Wonder and Fela and Bra Hugh, we never had social media. So we live in a current age where it has become a marketing tool. But I feel like it also sometimes gets way too much focus than it should, right? I think TikTok is amazing. I'm not on it yet, I was. I think it's really incredible. But also I think to each their own as artists. You understand? I think it's important. It's important to understand that not every artist needs to be a social media star. Frank Ocean is not. Daft Punk is not. But those are some iconic artists of our time. You follow me? So for me, it's like, it goes back to our first topic earlier. If the music is incredible, man, everything just comes crawling back into the center because the center is so incredible. You understand? And I mean, I think social media is an amazing tool. It's an incredible tool. And I think if you're really great at it, I feel like everyone turns to be really a comedian on TikTok. It's funny, I love it, you know. I think if you're great at it, you should use it. If you understand how to maximize on it, I think you should use it. But please do not forget the centerpiece, which is the music. Because at the end of the day, there are so many songs that go on to become massive social media trends, huge. But people don't even know the artists. And for me, I always find that so cool. Because the music always precedes, the music always goes ahead. So for me, again, I go back to the music. Always go back, focus on the music. Yes, social media and branding and everything comes, I think, around it. That's, again, just my view. Comes around it. We build everything around it. But if I feel like the music is at the right place, it's getting into the right rooms, it's doing what it's supposed to do, tick, I'm good.
I think this is very also subjective to the kind of artist you want to be. There are artists who don't want to be seen, and good luck on getting your music to be that big. Because some people, like I said earlier, some people really want to attach music to something, hey? Some people don't just want to listen to music and enjoy music and say, yeah, this is the greatest writer. Some people want to see this greatest writer. Some people want to see this greatest writer perform or whatsoever. Then there are artists who want to be on social media, who want to be known, who want to be spoken about, who want to, you know. Well, I think most of the art, if you want to be like a global superstar, that's your goal. Until you actually get there and realize that you don't want that anymore. Which is happening to me as well. Like, you know, I'm at a point where I'm like, damn, man, I've taught these people so much. Like I've taught them to accept me for posting so much to a point now where I don't post. Some people are worried. They think I'm going through it. Or I just don't feel like showing you what I'm doing right now anymore, you know? Because I feel like you are too much in my space now or whatever I may be feeling like. But like I said, it goes back, it's very subjective to the kind of artist you want to be. If you want to be like a global superstar, unfortunately, if you're trying to beat Drake, you're going to have to show face on social media. If you're trying to beat whoever on social media, you have to show face consistently. You have to come with some direction. You mentioned Frank Ocean. That's right. He might not be on social media, but he's had a whole rollout that has been on social media. You've seen how he looks. You've seen how he changed his hair to green. You know everything. But even though he might have not been actively doing that on social media, your branding has to be there. Something has to be there to show people that we are really serious about this thing. Like, if we're saying this guy is the best guy to you, how are we then visually showing you that this is the best guy for you, you know? So yeah, like if when you want to be that silent underground guy, great. You don't have to be on TikTok. You don't. But if you want to be that and that's not part of your character and who you are as a person, unfortunately, you're going to have to learn, you know. I have artist friends. I have artists that I had to also bully out of being a shy person into being very vocal on social media, being active, because sometimes when you really come off aggressive, that's when they like you. For example, he had to come off super aggressive social media, be so loud for the whole country to know him, you know. There's probably there's a lady from Limpopo, what Wamanyalo. What's her name again? Pleasure Utamanyalo. She's not the biggest person on social media, but she's so huge in Limpopo, you know. It's two different people. She understands that, yo, I want to be very known everywhere. I need to be actively on this social media thing. She's like, yo, as long as they playing my songs at the weddings, I'm cool. I go there, they sing the songs, I'm cool. That's what's cool with her. And unfortunately, that also sometimes affects your bank. Yeah. Because why am I paying you $50,000 if I don't even see you on social? Like, there's no value. How am I putting 50,000 rands to your value? So sometimes you kind of have to prove value as well through visually showing people that, yo, if I'm charging you 100,000 rand, yes, man, I have shoes that cost so much, you know? Kind of a, yeah.
Yo, I hate social media. So, but there's two ways of doing it, you know? Like, whatever you do, you have to do it your way. I'm not going to have a dance challenge ever. You know what I mean? So it won't be a dance challenge that I'll be doing. But I will sit with people and try to put together something for social media. And I wish I didn't have to.
That's amazing. Just to close that point off, as creatives, we gotta do what really align with what we're trying to achieve as an artist. Please don't ever don't do things out of pressure, man. That's really it. Like, I'm not saying don't do your job. When it's time to promote your music. But I feel like not everyone needs to have this influencer. I feel like just be real, be who you are, in the most incredible form, and I think everything aligns. Always well, brother.
My name is Baitu Manong. I'm a producer and I write songs too. My question for you guys is like, how do you guys like deal with like, you know, sometimes like I guess creatively being in a slump or like, you know, having a block where it feels like, yo, I'm not in a space where I want to create music. Maybe like, you know, sometimes you can go to the studio and like create even if you don't want to, but then, you know, there's times where you're like, nah, I don't want to do this right now. But then obviously like you have the demand or like you have to like push your career forward versus like dealing with real life or like even just like other challenges that you might be facing while you pushing your career. Yeah. Thank you guys.
That's a great question as well, because I also go through that, you know, and what I genuinely do is just stop. If I'm not feeling inspired to make music, I'm not gonna force it, because that means I'm not even gonna like the song or something like that. I usually, if I get some creative block, I'll try options, maybe some Zaza and see if it helps. If it don't help, still, you know, but also for me, even when I do like Zaza, I'm not doing it to try and get creative or anything, you know. I feel like I'm creative with or without, you know. So if Vele, I have a mind block, I can't go beyond what my mind is trying to tell me right now, you know. And sometimes you're gonna force yourself, and that thing can also deal with your confidence, because you might end up feeling like, damn, maybe I'm just not that great anymore. Like, yo, you know? I don't know. So for me, it's like, if I'm not feeling inspired or anything, I just stop. There's clearly something wrong with me, either emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. Then I try to sort that thing out. I'll either go out for a drive. If I'm still not okay, then I'll just leave it. Or I've had a month of not making music, like just chilling. Like sometimes you do have to chill, just let your mind breathe. And then when you go listen to your music again, you hear that, damn, actually, it's good or whatsoever. So, yeah, man, I think don't try to force yourself to get that creative juice. If it's not there, it's not there. Not today, maybe tomorrow, or maybe a week later, you know? Just keep on trying. I think music is a practice of always showing up, you know? You might not get it right today. You might not get it right tomorrow, but always keep on showing up. Show up, show up, show up, and try to do better all the time.
I was going to say the same thing. Just show up. Even when you're not inspired. I think I took a lot of time affording myself that grace of like, you're not feeling it today, Shek. But then I wasn't feeling it for like 3 months. You know what I mean? So I think I just show up every day, even if I write the worst verse. I just make sure I get it out of me.
From my side, I come with tough love. So please take it, you know.
Let's go.
you as a young producer, you're trying to push to get into industry, you know, taking in consideration your mental health, because anything that really affects how you feel, like strongly, it's okay to look after yourself, because if you're not good here and here, nothing can work out. But some days, you need to push yourself. You have to. Brother, you have to. Like, you have to push yourself. And there are days where, for me, I'll be in studio for 8 hours, and I'm pushing, I'm like, damn. But the 12th hour, I got something, right? And it happens. One of my greatest talent, man, I'm really good at sitting down. I sit down for hours. I can sit down literally from 10 a.m. until tomorrow, 4 a.m., working on one song, and do that for 7 days straight. And that happens for me is that I'll tell you a very, very funny story. Like some of the stuff I was doing, this song called Massive by Drake. That song, we were working on it for like 2 weeks. And I struggled, man. I really, like genuinely, it was a struggle, because it was just a struggle. But you know what? By the 13th day, I got the song. But I know if I did not push for like 12 days, I wouldn't have gotten the song. So it's like every single day, I do believe. Sometimes you'll feel, you know, when it's like today, I'm not great. But sometimes it might be out of frustration. You know, if you're frustrated that, yo, I'm not really coming through, I don't know what's going on. Man, that's not a good reason enough to stop writing. Yeah, it's not. You know what I mean? So, like, for me, it's like, if I'm frustrated, yes, I might take a walk, I might take a drive, you know what I mean? But and really just push. I do believe in, like, a lot of the time, sometimes on the edge of that frustration comes a really incredible moment. That's just really my belief.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
I go by the name of Diego. I'm a DJ and a sports a journalist. And yes. So I just want to, I have a question for Musakis. So how did the song came about on Paradise with AKA?
Yeah. Are you asking how it came about?
Yes, sir.
Well, Kina hit me up, and then he's like, my boy, we gotta get something together. I'm like, cool. Lucky enough, we were under the same management. So they were planning they had to submit his music. So they were planning his camp and all of that. So I had a show in KZN, and his camp was in KZN as well, maybe like 2 hours from Durban. So we were like, on my way to the gig, instead of us flying to Durban, let's drive there so that we can, because that was like kind of like halfway. Let's drive there and get into the house, record some music, then later that night go to the gig. So yeah, so more than anything, he hit me up. Like a lot of my songs are so organic. I'm not pretty much, like, I work with people because I've connected with them and they made me feel a specific way. You know, for me to hit you up and be like, yo, let's come write something. Let's work on something. It's because I heard the song. At that time, he had dropped a project with Kabza the Small and Mapores. There was a song that was on rotation for me. And I'm like, nah, man, I've never heard this thing before, like ever. And I've never felt this way about a song before. Let me hit up this guy. Like it's such some nice energy. So I think with anything to me in regards to like my collaborations and everything, it's just off of energy. So that's how it all happens.
Hit songs, I wanna like
That happens.
beat like Zebo, book ups that are small. Like I wanna be better. Don't you feel any pressure?
I get you. I think I didn't feel much pressure. At first, before actually getting into the house, I did, because I'm like, damn, man, this guy hasn't dropped a project in a while. So this is probably gonna be a very big project. So that means everybody has to deliver. This is where the critics are gonna come in. Like, the megas. They'll tell you we did not need this person here. You shouldn't have edited them. Kind of vibe. So I did feel pressure until I got into the house. When we started making the song, I just saw a huge reflection of myself in him. Like, what he was doing to me was what I literally do to people. Like, I sometimes beat people up, like, record it like this, do it now. Then we do it. So he was also like that. He came up to me, he's like, my boy, you're not gonna be shy here, hey? And then he's like, record it like this. And then we sang, came up with ideas and all of that. So, which goes back to the connection. If him and I did not have a pretty good connection, it wouldn't even gotten to that point. It would have been like a very strict session where I'm just chilling all alone, thinking when I'm done. Yes, I have my verse ready to record. But we were so cool that even mid-recording, he's like, you're recording bad stuff, man. Not now. Not now. Get your voice ready. Go get some tea or something. Let's play FIFA, And I did not take no offense in any of it. Because I then also tell him, like, nah, I don't like that verse. I don't like the way you did that. Let's rather do it like this, So it also came from just him and I just having that good relationship. And him liking me so much just gave me confidence, Like, yo, this guy could have called whoever. But he called me, and on top of that, he's constantly reminding me that I'm dope. He's constantly telling me why he likes my music, If anything that he always said whenever I'm with him, he's like, you know why I love your music? It sounds so delicious. It's a mix of everything. So when he did that, I was like, this guy understands that I'm a person who just do whatever I feel feels good for me, So, yeah. But there is pressure. The Davido collaboration had more pressure. Yeah.
Hi, guys. Yeah, so my question to you guys is, like, since all of you guys are great performers, because I've seen you guys perform, like, how do you choose someone to play keys for your live band or for drums? Because, like, for someone like me, I play keys, like, I specialize in live performances, but so I want to know, for someone like me, how do I get to, like, play for people like you guys, like, great performers?
You play keys, huh?
Yeah. You play keys, huh? Do you want to play keys? Hey, man, like, a lot of the time, really, it's environment and understanding. I've had most of my bands, guys I've known with probably 7, 8 years, It's connection with the creatives, but they're also really incredible musicians. And here in Joburg, man, they're incredible live musicians. So, brother, you got to hold your weight. Yeah. You one of them? I want to hear, bro. I really want to hear. I'm down to hear. I want to hear, man. I want to hear, and I love the fact that you're like, yo, I know my thing. You know what I mean? So I think that's really, really cool. But to be honest, I feel like your work always makes room for you. Your gift will do that. And, you're here and, like, you seem like a really cool guy. Networking, going to events, working for event companies, coming places like this. I would love to see you play. I just want to see because I'm interested to see you play. I want to hear the vibes. You know what I mean? So, and it's really like that. And if the energy connects and I like your style of playing, we might not necessarily play in live directly, but I might feel like, hey man, I'd love to hear you play keys in studio. You understand when I'm recording, So it really that, yeah.
For me, I started off as a musician in church, so I used to play keys in church. So even after church, I then went to go play for artists. But I think for me, how it worked is because I just had a pure spirit, and I just had a lot of confidence. So I would just hit up people. Like I would literally just text, like go on DM Flame, yo, I'm a musician, this and that. I want to play for you, whatsoever. And then I sent him a small clip. He didn't reply, and then I sent somebody else the same text who happened to school at NSA. Apparently the guys were at NSA rehearsing, and then he managed to go in there and ask them, yo, there's this guy I know, we can maybe be your band and whatever. And then we rehearsed, and all of that. And then I then played for another artist as well. I played for KLY. I've played for artists, right? Before actually being an artist as well. And one thing I've learned is that musicians can be playful, super playful, because that's something I'm also facing right now. My biggest challenge in selecting my band is having people that are too playful. Sometimes they move away from the music, you know. I've had a band before. I don't want to mention it, but y'all can check out this other performance I did at homecoming event. That's not the best performance I've ever given with a band. It's the worst for me. But because everybody was all over the place, you know, the pianist wants to get there and play melodies or play a specific chord because he learned a new chord and whatsoever. Time, mind you, so I literally had to come up. I used to watch musicians, right? Your Ligan, Breezy. The people that are playing for me are people that I used to idolize coming up, you know? So when I got to a place where I started choosing a band, I reached out to those specific people. For me personally, I was like, there's no band that's better than the band that plays for idols, because they play the music. They don't play fancy stuff. You know, some people don't interpret music differently. Now, when they start hearing too many fancy things, it sounds too different to the original song. So I chose them because I had been looking. So for an artist like me, I don't know how you get to me. By spirit, hopefully one day I hear you play and I'm like, damn, I actually like that, the way that person plays. But I've simplified my music now. I've pre-recorded everything. If I needed additions of keys, I've pre-recorded it. I only travel with 2 people, a bassist and a guitarist, because they know how to stay in the music and not disrupt my music. So my advice to you is stick to the music. You can be fancy, bro. Like a song you can create a section to be fancy and play around, but don't disrupt the purpose of the song, you know? Yeah. Oh, and upload a lot of your content. Yeah, so because that's how people really scout. That's how I scout for pianists and all of that. I always like actively like go on socials, see if I meet someone new.
Good day, everyone. Firstly, I'd love to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to say thank you to God for I made it to the top 100. Thank you so much, Mr. Tresor, for believing in me. Thank you so much, Mama Shekhinah. Like, I can relate to your energy. You're such a lovely lady. Keep it up. I love you. Thank you so much, Mr. Musa, for your style. You inspire me so much. Now, my question is, how do you stay grounded? How do you still remember where you are from and to where you are going? Because I know there are temptations.
By the way, you look cool.
Thank you
We'll
so
just
much.
Say, it's like, I would love to even hear more because of how you look. You're just very distinct, you know. Yeah, you get it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you look so cool. How do you stay grounded? I guess it's in personality, really. Like for me, I feel like as an artist, naturally, but you know, a lot of things come with music. When you have a moment, there's quite a lot of noise and a lot of not really nice noise that comes through, right? And sometimes people lose sight of what's really important. I do believe you should always focus on your fundamentals, your most important things. It's music and business. Please tune out the rest, okay? Like for me, it's like, personally, I focus on music as a creative. Anything that has come post any great achievements or whatever, you do your work, but I don't really consider that anything that should alter your journey and how you view the world. You know what I mean? Like none of your success should alter how you view your friends, your family, your environment. You know, when I say humility, I don't mean you need to be a walkover. I'm just saying you just need to please stay human. That's all. Just stay human. Yeah.
I watch a lot of podcasts. I spend a lot of time with my family. I exercise a lot. Yeah, and I stay with my friends, people that knew me before. I have friends from high school. They always keep me grounded. So yeah, I just like to keep people around me that are good for my spirit and not too good for my ego, yeah.
I think that to sum that up, it's being wholesome. Do wholesome stuff. When you're an artist, you don't have time to do wholesome stuff. You're like, there's so much time that you have to be in your element, to be in your, always be ready to pose, always be ready to do artist stuff. And that can, if that's your everyday life, you wake up to that, you sleep to that, that can really kind of stir you away from reality, I've had times where my life, my job would basically drown me. All I live is being this person, and I'm just like, damn, I don't want to be this person, But I had to do wholesome stuff. I had to have the realest people around me to constantly remind me, Sometimes when I'm outside, I'm always speaking English, right? But I know when I'm with my boys, we always vernac it out kind of vibe. That already keeps me grounded. It's like a lot of people don't know how I even sound like speaking vernac, Some people, whenever they hear me speak English for the first time, like, dang, you sound like that? Like, what the hell did you expect me to sound like? So certain things like that, it takes out a realer character for me. I feel so home, I feel so wholesome. Yeah, I think doing a lot of wholesome stuff as an artist really helps a lot. Like really switching off that superstar button kind of vibe and just be wholesome. Being real to yourself, and yeah.
Hi, everyone. Oh, Jesus.
This is the hardest.
How you guys doing? I'm Osu, Black Rose, I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I am very delighted to say thank you guys for considering me for the top 100 also. I have 3 questions, but I'm just going to try and merge it into one because we don't have a lot of time. The first question is, how do you guys deal with having to talk to people, especially you, Musa, because you had to be independent for so long? How did you deal with having to approach people and sell yourself and market yourself the way that you did to get to where you are? Second, how do you guys deal with rejection? And and the third one is especially for Shekhinah. Please run us some game as an R&B artist in SA because it's very, very it's a very tight space for us. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Queen. Okay, yeah, but I think we can do it in one. Look, I think for me personally, the industry is really tough. When you're independent, especially Musa said earlier, the journey you have to walk it alone, and rejection is part of the journey, man. It really is. And you need to embrace every part of it. In fact, I think every time I got rejected, it's always a funny story I tell people. I got so excited because I felt like you get closer and closer. Yes, because you get better. Man, you'll laugh if I tell you how many songs were rejected by 5FM because my English was not really clear enough. And when I dropped my first album, I had 4 number ones on the same radio stations. So for me, that was a challenge, So it's, so you, in a way, your journey is determined on how far you can be able to push yourself. And selling yourself, for me, I think no one else knows, understand your dreams like you do. No one else will ever will. Even when you Beyonce or Rihanna, you always gonna have to sell yourself. To your team, it's just different kind of selling because now you're bigger, right? But please don't let ever anyone rejection deter you from your great path. Really, it's nothing. It's all good.
For me, I think if you're ashamed to go speak up for yourself, then stop it. Don't do it. Because you're like, if you don't believe enough, like in yourself enough to go present yourself, then you shouldn't be going to speak to people about it. Because why are you then wanting people to invest in something that you're not so confident about? You know. So that if anything, yeah, unfortunately, if anything, I always go for it, man. Like I feel like everything that I've done, I've always just said it so casually. For me, everything feels casual. For me to get a Grammy nominee, I told myself, I remember meeting my team, the first meeting we had, like my management team. They're like, so what do you want? And I told them, like, I'm going to get a Grammy. They're like, okay, we are thinking, yes, I don't care how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. I believe that I am good enough for a Grammy. And guess what?
Period.
That kind of like channeled everything in them, I believe, right? It might have channeled in them to push as hard as well, to be like, damn, we're working with somebody who thinks is a Grammy artist here. So we really need to match up the thingy. And like he said, rejection happens, hey? Fortunate enough for us gents, we've been rejected by women quite a lot of times coming up. So rejection, it really doesn't feel like rejection anymore. It's familiar, like, oh, you saying no? I'll try the next one. Bye. You know? And sometimes if, I didn't want to say this, I saw a tweet where they like, no, God is protecting you for another thing. No, they're just rejecting you. He's not protecting you. They're really rejecting you. And it's okay. That means that's not where you belong to be, unfortunately. Maybe the next thing will be bigger than the one you got rejected for.
And you're still cool.
And you're still fly as hell.
Yeah, you are. R&B, keep doing it. Look at Filala. Look at Lord Cares. Like, there's so many girls in you. It's possible. There's a lot of people that listen to R&B in South Africa. And rejection is the only reason why I'm here today getting to speak to you. So it's good. And I hate the way it feels, but it's good.
It builds character,
Ice DJ. So I'm a DJ. I'm still learning how to produce, but also touch on like vocals. So I was in a situation where I was with a close friend of mine who was like a more experienced producer, and he used my concept, well, me and my friend's concept, to actually be with another, like a big artist like Maporisa and things like that. So I was wondering if like, how do you guys deal with people who take your concept, your idea, but take it into studio with other people and try to, like, you know, change it, or, you know, because I've been in such a situation and I was actually hurt by, you know.
The concept, I just want us to understand, the concept, is it a song, is it an idea? Like, just...
It's an idea. Okay, it's like a groove anthem, because I'm a piano artist. So it's a groove anthem that...
Okay, like an idea from groove and people. My brother, that's a tough one. Yeah, I'm going to have to be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. You know, sadly, sometimes we don't... Friends, sometimes they can fold sometimes and not really be nice, you know. You can only protect yourself if you copyright it, if you own the idea fully, if you recorded it and you have proof that actually you were the first person, there's a debt to it, that actually came up with the idea. Now, I'm not talking about a groove anthem, because if it's a groove anthem that belongs to everyone, then anyone can just take it and make it a thing. I'm talking about something, if you came up with a line and you recorded it and you emailed to yourself, whatever, that's already, you've copyrighted it, whatever, right? But if it's just an idea, man, your friend is not cool.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, it's tough one to handle legally, because you don't have the ground for it. But then next time, don't say before you do it. Do it Do it first.
Then I'm like, are you done like finishing that song? Then he's like, it didn't even record nicely that day. So next thing, I'm seeing his post on Instagram, and he's actually with like, just to mention TNK and Maporisa. So it's that thing that our concept is there, but
Yeah, I think it's a conversation you have to take, I think, with your friend, because you guys never necessarily finish the idea, because it's hard to protect anything that was never really copyrighted.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens. Quite a lot. I've also had songs where I've recorded it in studio, then hear it on a different beat later. So, and unfortunately with that thing specifically, the bigger brand always wins. So in a situation like that, and my Porisa one will be more granted than yours. So it's like you just have to give it away. Luckily, I've always had to be the bigger brand, so I could take it. I could still keep it.
Also,
But
maybe
yeah.
he must be flattered, you know. So the idea must have been dope. Like be like, so come up with better ideas. Yeah. You know,
Show
even
them.
more better ideas. You know what I mean?
Don't hold on to it.
Good day, everyone. I'm Eddie, all the way from Limpopo. Shout out to Musa Keys. So my question is just simple. Oh, by God's grace, I also made it to the top 100, guys. Amen. So my question is like for Musa Keys. I just wanna ask about how's like the experience working with like big artists like Davido, and how's like the work ethic, and how like what do you expect as an South African artist and like the world stage?
Being consistent, man. I think that's what the world expects. I've been so consistent with certain things back to back over and over just so that it could only put me in one position. I've had to do certain things over and over just to get to a certain point. How do I meet these artists? How does it feel? It feels good. If anything, man, I don't know. I'm just not a fanboy kind of vibe, you know? Whoever I meet, like I said, for me, you could be the biggest artist. For me, when I connect with you, we did not connect because you were the biggest artist. We connected because I liked your energy. You're so fun to have around. Davido and I, for us to be able to make music, is not because he's this dope guy and just hit me up for songs. Because even when we chill, it's like a very cool vibe. He can literally tell me about his wife or something, you know? Like it just has become that. And yeah, I don't think there's a formula. If you're looking for a formula, it just happens, hey? And I just think God has put me in a position to be able to cater for the people and have such a dope spirit that my spirit is needed, like people want to have me around, you know. If anything, I'm true to myself. I'm always true to whatever I'm doing, and that has always put me in the best positions, you know. Like some people really like me for my personality, my character, more than my music. You know, I've been in studio with people where I even leave studio without making a song, where we're just having fun and just talking, you know. Yeah.
I love those.
It's Tuto Khosimang, stage name Telequest. I'm a rapper from Mafikeng. I just have a question for you guys. Sorry, before the question, I also made it to the top 10, top 100, sorry. So thank you very much. Top 10. Thank you, Raj. Thank you very much for the opportunity, for recognizing my talent, and for the positive feedback. So question to you guys is, what other career paths did you guys want to follow when growing up? When did you know that you want to be a musician for the rest of your life? Thank you.
I will start so I can finish. I wanted to be an architect and a civil engineer. Studied those as well, then dropped out of varsity when studying sound engineering. So the school that I went to was a technical high school, which they taught you civil engineering in high school from grade 9. Also architecture from grade 9. So I used to draw, I used to do all of those things. In grade 7, I started playing the keys in church. A friend of mine just invited me to church, like, yo, let's go, accompany me. I got there, he's like, just look at any instrument, whatever you like, play it. And then got there, then they started teaching me. Then I just fell in love with it. How did I know that music was my thing? I kind of knew from the beginning because I did not like studying. Yeah, like the more I was going, like the grades were getting higher, grade 10, grade 11, I'm like, hey. Not because I was doing bad, I was actually a good student. But I was like, I don't think I have the energy for reading so much and analyzing so much. I want to sit down and just put down everything that's in my mind into a program and hear how it sounds. So that's how I then got into it, into music, and became, yeah. When I got into first year I did it, but because I had already done music so much from the previous years, I felt like I knew a lot. I was also correcting lectures at some point in class, so I was like, damn, I felt like it was wasting my time. Like, they were teaching me things that I already knew, but the difference is that I was learning terms. So you probably call that cable a cable, whereas it's an XLR cable. So that's what I realized, that damn, in school I'm only here, they teaching me things like what to call them, what they're called, instead of what I know them as. So I was like, let me drop out and really focus on my music. I lied to my mom. I told her like, yo, just give me 6 months. The 6 months I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna do this and that and that and that. I must drop music. And then she's like, cool, let's see. And then I had no choice but to prove.
I wanted to be a ballerina. Yeah, and then I did ballet my whole life, and then in grade 9 I started growing boobs, and the boobs got too big to do ballet, and then I went to choir, and somehow choir led to theater, theater led to idols, idols led to Joburg, Joburg led to college, college made me sad. I made music, yeah.
That's cool. I love ballet. And I love architecture. A lot of things. I started doing music when I was like 7 years old. I started playing drums in church, so I'm a pretty good drummer actually. So a lot of my music starts with rhythm, so I play pretty much all the drums on all my songs. But growing up, I want to be a lot of things in between, but it always been forensic investigator of sorts, yeah. But different passions, you know, like I really, really love fashion a lot. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I kind of believe I really like business a lot, so I'm always vested and interested in a lot of things. But life is long as an artist. I don't think music career is the end of everything, you know, like, and I believe in people having different dimension, because in my mind I get very bored easily, so I do music, but I also do a lot of things. You might not necessarily wanting to do things how you want it to be done, but there's always way to create outlets. And I would never even thought that he did engineering or architecture. You know, I love like architecture. For me, it's like music, architecture, fashion. Those are like, I love those three things, like in that order. On my phone, it's so boring. It's literally buildings and shapes and architecture. That's really what I have, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think I discovered my love for music when I was 8 years old. And it's been pretty much a rather interesting journey from then. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi guys, so I have a question from someone in the stream. Luyanda Mazibuko is asking, what exactly does it take for a creator to actually make it in the industry? Is it talent alone, or it comes with other factors?
5% talent.
Yeah. Talent is very minimal. We need the music to activate the bus. or the engine to go. But in most cases, you can sing your whole life, man. If the business around your singing does not make sense, it's kind of pointless. You're gonna sing the rest of your life to go die broke. So you really kind of need to find that good balance, you know. People really need to invest in making themselves, like an artist is a business. I think maybe that's where people get it wrong. They think an artist is you're just this freelancer. You are a business, hence you have workers, hence you have a manager that works. You have somebody who does your social media if you need one. You have somebody who does something all the time. So it's a business at the end of the day, and it needs to be treated like one for it to be able to sustain itself and have a longer run. Because I mean, a lot of artists that don't run themselves as businesses have a very short period of, like a very short run, you know, or the end of their road is just so sad. You find that somebody died, there's nothing to show for, like, it's like there was no structure or anything behind it.
Yeah, I don't think it's just talent. Luyanda, hey, shout out for joining online. That's really cool. Yeah, it's not just talent. Yeah, business, ethics, good team, good people. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just to add on. Super hard work. Yeah, I wanted to say that as well. Like, super hard work. If you're really trying to make it into the industry, trust me, you're going to have to work, hey? It's not as easy as it seems. You can be one person away from a hit song, but that doesn't determine your success. I've had people, I've put on people, I've had artists where I'm like, damn man, I put you on a good start. What happened? You know, they haven't went beyond where I have put them because work ethic was not the same. People got too emotional. If anything, in the music thing, take your feelings out of it. Take it out, take it out. If you're gonna be on social media ranting about your feelings, maybe it'll get you likes and views. Maybe it'll get you likes and views and all of that. You can use it to your advantage, but you really need that consistent hard work all the time. Like that consistent hard work. Also having direction, hey? A lot of artists just linger around. A lot of artists linger around with the hope of their talent to save them. Thinking that, no, this song will just somehow become big. Songs don't just somehow become big. They get marketed, you do a lot of things, a lot of activations, a lot of pop-ups, a lot of, like there's so much that you need to do and you need to put in, so much time and energy that you need to put in for you to actually break in. And guess what? Once you've broken in, if you are aiming to be a global superstar, you're gonna have to work twice as harder. So, yeah.
Well, nothing you can't do though, so don't worry. There's nothing you can't do, you know. Yeah. But for real, just to complete what Musa and Shekhinah saying, there's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of tears and anxiety and a lot of things that go into the music. But I think that's what really makes it worth it. It's never, I think, you know, South Africa is really incredible that, man, a long time when I used to work as a security guard in Devon, I used to come from Spingo taking a train to Devon Central, and people going to work will be singing top of their lungs the most beautiful voices. I used to be like, man, I'm not gonna make it in this music thing, man. Everyone can sing here, you know, because it was just so incredible. And here, almost everyone can sing. Really, like South African people are so talented, like really incredibly talented. But in a group of a lot of exciting and hopefuls, there's only, sometimes it's always about, you know, just how you approach everything. Again, number one on the list, discipline. What do you want? Every single day of my life until today, I do at least, even if I'm sick, dog, one thing that builds toward my dream every single day. And I've been doing so for the last 12 years. Every day.
What is it?
I just, Some does not matter. If I'm sick like a dog, I'll do research. I will send an email. I'll call. But every day, I don't take holidays. Man, I'm uncomfortable with holidays, man. Every day. So please, if you want it that bad, go get it.
Hi guys. My name is Miyagi Cloudy. I'm a rapper, singer, producer, and. Hi to everyone. I had so many questions for you guys, but they told me to ask one. So I'll ask this one question. Since all you guys have teams, have you ever had a situation where there was a deal that was on the table and you guys, you with your teams have like some conflicts with signing the deal because maybe you feel like it's not for you, but someone else in the team feels like, nah, this is a deal for you. And if that's the case, have you been in a situation where it's like, okay, we ended up signing and it turned out to be a bad or a good deal, or you didn't sign, and when you look at it now, you're like, it could have been this or that?
Rule number one, don't surround yourself with yes people.
Yeah.
Because they never help anything. You always have to be challenged as an artist. I have a bunch of different lawyers for different things. There's one.
He's rich.
Yeah? But there's one particular one that really challenges me a lot, and I like it a lot. You know why? Because it pokes holes into my thinking all the time. Deals will always come when your art is right. You're never going to run out of deals. You know, people give you ultimatum, you need to sign all the deal off them. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It was never the right deal anyway. I do believe in always getting the best out of situations. Number one, put yourself in the right position. As an artist, the time you're begging for a deal, you're gonna always not get the right deal because you're not in a powerful position. It should always be the other way around. The position to negotiate better terms. You understand? Personally, I've been in a lot of situations where I've had deals. I look at them. This is good. The money is not really great. This is bad. The money is really amazing. And the best always to find the balance of both. Right? And sometime along the way, you burn some bridges. Sadly, it's never the intention. But you always have to look at bigger picture of things, knowing where, man, I'm not 21 anymore. You know, I'm in my mid-30s, so I sign deals understanding very well where I want to commit my time and my craft for the next 5 years. So I'm like, I can give you 1 year at max, because if this does not work out, I can still get out. Do you understand? So there's a lot of facts for me. It's like you need to understand what are you trying to achieve. And please understand, it's never emotional. It's business. People can laugh, people can be kind and check on you all they want. If you don't know them for the longest time, it's business. Don't get tricked to believe like you're trying to do a wherever, how long, because you like so-and-so, like Shekhinah. People move. And people move on, and new people, new companies, whatever. And for me, the bottom line is you got to sign the deal that makes sense for you in both short and long term. And it's never, money should be the second thing. Terms, money. Never just about, if you got money, yeah, sure. Very hard like you're not going to get about terms, money, because it needs to make sense. You understand? It needs to make sense.
Yeah. Just to second that, I think the yes man thing is like the most important one, right? For like whenever I have conflict with my management or whatever, if we're contemplating for like a deal, it's mainly because maybe if I think I deserve more, I question that next person, why do you think I deserve less? If Vele, when you think that 400,000 is cool and I don't want it, and you're convincing me as the artist, as the person who's going to be doing all of everything that needs to be done, and I don't feel comfortable about it, that's when we're gonna have that whole thing. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, it has to be, the conclusion has to be something that makes you happy as an artist, because you're also not trying to beg something or lose something that's then gonna make you feel miserable, you know. I have a record label. I've signed artists before. Some artists I've let go. Some artists left. I could not force them to do certain things, you know. As much as I thought that could be the best thing, I have to ask you as an artist, are you happy to do this? Is this what you want? I'm going to advise you. As much as I think what you think is whack or not the best idea, if that's what's going to make you, because at the end of the day, I don't want to now have to be stuck with an artist that is unhappy. Because then the music, they won't deliver the music the right way. They won't deliver themselves generally the right way. Because at the back of their mind every day is that anyway, I'm doing this for this guy because he wanted me to do this thing, you know? So in times of conflict, bro, even myself, I take my emotion out of it. We can go back and forth. You will advise me, tell me that, yes, that's cool. I think this and this. But at the end of the day, I make the decision. Because that's what's going to make me feel better. Because I can agree to getting that 20 million rands, but you find that it's going to make me feel miserable. I might have that 20 million, be excited for the next 2 days, and when it's time to actually show up, that's when I realize how miserable I am. So within situations like that, bro, it's really, for me personally, it really goes down to what's going to make you happy. Obviously, the people that are around you, you chose them for a reason. That's why they're advising you the way they are. If they're yes men, it's so unfortunate. You will have to learn the hard way. Because then you're going to have to get burnt. You're going to have to get in there because everybody's yesing everything. You get in there, then realize at a later stage that, oh no, that's the worst place. So, yeah.
I think with me, my favorite thing about me is that I am an emotional being. So I have people around me that are not connected emotionally, and I love hearing other people's opinion. I love when there's differences. My sister and I look at everything completely different. With the masters conversation we had earlier, I was ready to sell my masters in February and take a holiday. Shout out to Bali. But my team encouraged me not to sell my masters, and I think it's important to have people that think differently to how you think, so that you get a better perspective on anything. You need other people's minds.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Q&A. Can we please get a round of applause for Musa Keys, Tresor, and Shekhinah? That was incredible. So now we're gonna go into a lunch break. You guys get to stretch your legs. Yes, get to stretch your legs, get to eat.